WWE are reportedly planning several production changes ahead of Raw's debut on Netflix this evening. We'll let you know all the details on that. This also includes a brand new ring match with several sponsors listed on it. The Rock has confirmed he will be in attendance for tonight's Netflix premiere episode. So will Logan Paul. Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels reportedly are also scheduled for the premiere. One person who isn't is WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin. Details on why Rush and Dralistico have been absent from AEW television. Konosuke Takeshita reportedly signs with New Japan Pro Wrestling. New Japan are also reportedly interested in signing the former WWE superstar Baron Corbin. And Big Bronson Reed confirms he will miss WrestleMania. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with tonight's premiere episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. You can see it in the sidebar right there. We will have a watch along live, so be sure to join us. Click subscribe, click the notification bell, and you can join us live for not only a watch along, but also a post show once the show has gone off the air on Netflix. And as I mentioned, it's a very big night for WWE, and we're also expecting to see several changes ahead of the premiere episode, because ahead of the show from Los Angeles, a new report has revealed some production changes for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Tonight's edition of Raw will serve as the company's premiere episode on Netflix from the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. With the transition to streaming, major matches scheduled, and legends set to return, this is shaping up to be one of the biggest and most important weekly show the company has ever done. This move will also provide WWE with the opportunity to make some aesthetic changes to the product on Monday nights, beginning with this premiere episode. Now, per PW Insider, WWE Raw is set up for the Netflix premiere, and it's expected to feature a complete 360 seating in the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, California. There is also set to be a stage for entrances that is smaller than what is traditionally used before due to the current layout. Now, meanwhile, the commentary desk will be a new style for the broadcast team of Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. Now, these new changes can actually be seen in a video that's been released by Triple H. We'll talk you through it whilst we get it up on the screen right now. As you can see, Triple H here with President Nick Khan. He's kind of looking around this sort of 360 seating setup, as was previously reported by PW Insider. You get a better look right there of this sort of 360 seater setup with seats actually behind the entranceway, kind of similar to sort of a UFC setup, I believe is what WWE are currently looking at, as Triple H talks to all of the production staff to get these changes set up in the way that they want to. Now, there is going to be some LED components, as previously you can see right there, the sort of loop that goes around. It also looks like the seats are going to light up too, which WWE is also going to utilize as part of Superstar Entrance. That might be the brand new commentary desk, a kind of stand-up podium that WWE is also looking to use. But certainly a lot of changes expected for WWE in terms of how they usually present their wrestling product in terms of seaters, arenas, etc. moving forward. Now, Triple H has also commented on the runtime. This has been a big topic for several months, isn't it? And Triple H says it's going to be more manageable. Now, of course, with this move to Netflix beginning today, there are still plenty of questions as to the logistics of how the show will air on the streaming service moving forward. Among others, fans have wondered how long commercial breaks are going to be a part of the show, how they're going to be factored into the show as well. Speaking on the press box, WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque was asked to comment on what WWE's thinking was and what Netflix thinking was as well regarding having commercials during Monday Night Raw broadcast on the streaming service. He said, quote, "Look, my guess on their part would be money is part of this. They're paying us a lot of money. They're in the business of making money. So they've got to have ad times and they've got to fit and sell things, even though it's a subscription product. There's other factors that go into that for them. For us, to some degree, it's a funny thing. Sometimes they tell us for whatever reason, hey, you can have the entire first hour commercial free. I know that nobody out there that watches the show, unless they do television, will understand this because they hear this and they think that's the most ridiculous thing ever. Commercial-free live television is incredibly difficult. People don't understand that. To be able to go from this match ends, you've got to get them out of the arena, you've got to go backstage, you've got to do this other stuff, you've got to be ready to do every single thing and to be able to go on every single thing in real time in that moment. If something crashes, if somebody gets injured, there's no place to go. There's no commercial to go to. There's no, hey, we can go to this. You can only go to so many backstage segments. If they're not ready to go, something happens. You got to get out in the ring. If nobody's ready to go, all right, let's just run a package or something. It's incredibly difficult to do. So having those breaks in there to some degree is helpful. There's less commercial time. It's going to be more manageable, at least for now. Anything can change, but at least for now, I also think this will be a working progress for us. The formatting is slightly different here. How we work with things is slightly different. So it's going to take us a minute or so to get to where we feel comfortable and where we feel smooth getting in and out of everything and going where we need to go. But I think it'll be a better experience for people. It's just a part of what we do. It makes me laugh whenever people say there are so many commercials this week. Well, same exact amount of commercials we had last week. I'll give you that maybe we didn't do as good a job managing the time between the commercials, but it's the same amount of commercials. We didn't change anything. The format's the same. Now, in January 2024, Alex Sherman of CNBC reported that Netflix subscribers on the standard no-ad plan wouldn't get ads during Raw. Again, we'll wait and see how that plans out tonight. Now, in terms of, again, aesthetic changes, what this is going to look like, we are possibly, seemingly going to get a new ring match. We kind of got a new version of it on SmackDown on Friday, didn't we, as well? Now, last March, WWE announced a historic partnership with Logan Paul's Prime. Alongside becoming WWE's official hydration drinks partner, the deal saw the beverage brand become the first sponsor in history to have its logo appear on a WWE ring canvas. Now it appears the promotion will be taking some inspiration from its TKO Group Holdings partner UFC by taking on some more ring canvas sponsorships outside of Prime, presumably beginning at the premiere episode of Raw on Netflix tonight. Now, during Friday's SmackDown, an image made the rounds on X of a brand new WWE ring canvas featuring various sponsor logos. Among them are the logos of Netflix, Riyadh Season, Snickers, Cricket Wireless, and the Hulk Hogan-led Real American Beer and Fortnite, with the latter being the most prominently featured in the center of the ring. Now, it's currently unknown if these sponsorships will only be for Raw, if it's going to be extended to SmackDown, NXT, the company's premium live events. We'll have to wait and see again how often they feature. Now, the move, as the Prime move did, received some criticisms by fans, claiming that it ruins the ring, while others believe TKO Group Holdings is responsible. Now, as I mentioned, when it comes to the SmackDown ring canvas, it was a little bit different. Not like this, it was more of a blue color. So again, we'll wait and see if it's going to be on SmackDown and NXT. And of course, we'll wait and see, indeed, if this is going to be front and center for Raw tonight on Netflix. Now, The Rock, the People's Champion, has indeed confirmed that he will be in attendance this evening. Of course, today marks the premiere of Raw on Netflix, and writing on Instagram, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson confirmed he'll be a part of the festivities, and he's dedicating the occasion to his family. He said, quote, "I'll come back home to WWE tomorrow night as we make history on Netflix and begin a new and exciting era. Tomorrow night is dedicated to my grandfather, the High Chief Peter Maivia, my grandmother, Leah Maivia, my dad, Rocky Soulman Johnson, and my ancestors who have all paved the way." Now, Johnson didn't reveal any of his plans for Raw, though it's highly likely he'll be somehow involved in the ongoing Bloodline saga. Of course, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa are scheduled to face each other in a tribal combat match, and Johnson might use that as an opportunity to let the family know which member he's aligning himself with. That said, the final boss also has unfinished business with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, who is also expected to appear on tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Of course, the last time we saw The Rock was at Bad Blood, where he stared down both Rhodes and Reigns, as well as other members of the Bloodline, as the show went off the air. Now, a few more details on this. Per Dr. Chris Featherstone reporting for Sportskeeda, The Rock will be cutting a promo on the show, most likely, but again, we don't know who with or what that's going to look like. Logan Paul, he'll also be making his return to WWE television tonight at the Raw on Netflix kickoff event on December 18th. Former United States champion Logan Paul was officially unveiled as a new member of the Red Brand's roster. With Paul not appearing on WWE programming since losing to LA Knight at SummerSlam in August, questions still remained regarding when we would see Paul back on television, even after he was announced to be joining Raw. Now, just prior to the anticipated event at the Intuit Dome, WWE have officially confirmed that Paul will return at the Netflix premiere via an announcement on Twitter. Now, speaking of other people set to appear tonight, we're going to be getting Hall of Famers front and center all over the show. According to PW Insider's Mike Johnson, Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels are currently scheduled to be making appearances from Raw this evening. Now, again, quite interestingly, when it comes to Hulk Hogan, there was a report previously from Sean Rossap of Fightful Select saying he could be making several appearances soon. A report stated, quote, Fightful Select has learned that Hulk Hogan has been discussed for some upcoming appearances with the company. Fightful said at the time they'd not learned of specific dates, maybe the first being this evening. Hogan's Real American Beer was spotted, as we mentioned previously, on a new canvas for WWE that featured a number of sponsors. It's expected that it will be used in the coming weeks. Hogan was also on a new Saturday Night's Main Event commercial for later this month in San Antonio, Texas. Fightful weren't told if Hogan was set to appear, but one WWE source said they'd be surprised if Jesse Ventura would be on the same show if indeed that was the case. Of course, Hogan rarely appears on WWE programming nowadays, but did show up last January as the company celebrated the 40th anniversary of Hulkamania. He was also on Raw's 30-year celebration, actually prior to that. It's also been suggested per Dr. Chris Featherstone of Sportskeeda that Hogan could be set to cut a promo on the show. Now, interestingly, it looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin may or may not be set for Raw tonight. And again, this is very interesting. Of course, major names are set for tonight's show. John Cena, The Rock, Roman Reigns, Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels. But per Dr. Chris Featherstone of Sportskeeda, Stone Cold Steve Austin was originally discussed to make an appearance on the show, but that was eventually scrapped. Now, Austin at one point, of course, was planned for a role in the WrestleMania 40 main event last year, which also never happened due to reportedly to monetary reasons, scheduling reasons as well. But interestingly, WWE did release footage of a drone show happening over Los Angeles that looks like it could be featured tonight on Raw. And there was a Stone Cold Steve Austin skull featured as part of the show. So the suggestion is that a bit of a swerve? Will the Texas Rattlesnake be there? We'll have to wait and see, and we'll find out later on this evening. You can find out with me on the watch-along, which you can see on the sidebar right there. Now, switching over to AEW, some AEW news here. And an interesting update when it comes to some absences. Rush and Dralistico of La Faction Ingobernables have been away from AEW programming since November. While LFI's Beast Mortos has been competing in the Continental Classic, Rush hasn't been on AEW programming since November 14, while Dralistico has been missing since October 30. Now, there has been some light shared on why they've been away. According to Fightful Select, Rush was supposed to win his match alongside Mortos on the November 14th Collision episode, but there was heat on Rush following him getting physical with Alec Price and Richard Holiday on the previous episode of Rampage, which has been a reoccurring habit of Rush's. Holiday reportedly had to get checked by an AEW medic after the match, which concerned management. Rush, a former Ring of Honor World Champion, signed a new contract with AEW last year and then suffered an injury that saw him out of action for the beginning of 2024. He also dealt with visa issues. Before his absence, Rush had promised to go to war with the Blackpool Combat Club, who have taken over AEW in recent months since Jon Moxley won the AEW World Championship at WrestleDream in October and officially founded the Death Riders. Despite being a dominant competitor in last year's tournament, he was not featured in this year's Continental Classic, and his partner, the Beast Mortos, did not make the semi-finals. Dralistico is currently all in with his tenure with AEW, as the former AAA World Tag Team Champion severed ties with AAA at the end of 2023, not long after signing his AEW contract. Speaking of contracts being signed, it looks like Konosuke Takeshita is officially with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, an update has emerged on Konosuke Takeshita's contract status following the AEW star announcing he will also be representing New Japan Pro Wrestling moving forward. Takeshita had a big weekend in the Tokyo Dome, defending the AEW International Championship and also winning the Never Openweight Championship during his winner-takes-all match against Shingo Takagi at Wrestle Kingdom 19 before defending both his titles against Tomohiro Ishii at Wrestle Dynasty. Following Wrestle Dynasty, Takeshita announced that he is now officially affiliated with New Japan Pro Wrestling, giving him a 3-organization affiliation alongside his current deals with AEW and DDT Pro. Takagi Kidani, the CEO and president of New Japan parent company Bushiroad, has now confirmed that Konosuke Takeshita has signed a 1-year deal with New Japan. Noting that Takeshita will come and go, Kidani noted the following to Tokyo Sports, quotes, "I think it's a 1-year contract to start with, but there aren't many matches in AEW. If he wants to be the main wrestler for New Japan, that could actually happen. I think it would be fine for him to go back and forth. There are quite a few wrestlers like that." Now, Takeshita has his next Never Openweight Championship defense lined up for New Japan Pro Wrestling and could be set for more appearances moving forward. Speaking of New Japan, could we see the former Baron Corbin in the company? Well, Fightful Select's Shawn reported on a number of upcoming New Japan Pro Wrestling contract expirations, but New Japan has also been considering bringing in new talent, including one that could possibly turn heads. Fightful Select report that they have learned that New Japan Pro Wrestling has shown interest in Tom Pestock, the former Baron Corbin. Fightful are reporting they've been told the two sides have been in contact, but they say they aren't sure how deep those talks are. Pestock was at AEW World's End visiting friends a couple of weekends ago and is now officially a free agent after his former WWE contract expired. Finally, Big Bronson Reed has confirmed his WrestleMania 41 status. Now, the men's War Games match at November's Survivor Series PLE was one that sadly lived up to the billing as one of WWE's most dangerous stipulations, as 3 stars were put on the shelf with injury in the bout. While Jimmy Uso recently returned to action after suffering a broken toe, both Tonga Loa and Big Bronson Reed look set for lengthy stints on the sidelines. Loa's injury was reportedly a torn bicep, while Reed's was reported to be a broken foot, with the Aussie star undergoing surgery just under a month ago. With it being reported that Reed would miss WrestleMania 41 as a result of his injury, Reed has now taken to Twitter to confirm the news while also clarifying the true extent of his injury. Reed wrote, quote, "Let's clear up some things. Dirt sheets report ankle fracture or injury. I unfortunately smashed my talus bone completely in half. I had it surgically repaired with screws and fragments taken out. Also had some bone marrow taken from my hip and put into my foot. Now, this means I won't be at the Raw Netflix premiere. Don't expect a Rumble surprise, and the biggest loss is no Mania. Please keep up with me on social media at this time. Understand I've had a serious injury, undergone serious surgery, and have serious implications from that. It's not merely a fracture." Now, prior to his injury at Survivor Series, Reed was enjoying a breakout year in WWE, particularly in the latter half of 2024, with the former NXT North American champion picking up momentum after his post-SummerSlam attack on Seth Rollins. Despite the setback in his journey, Reed recently did reflect positively on this past year. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.